Hi, I'm Anna from No Friends, a freelance platform for artists and creatives. We focus on discovering and supporting amateur talents. Today, we are filming our second interview in the series of interviews with Scottish entrepreneurs. Our guest is Pooja Katara, CEO and founder of SENSEcity, first augmented reality travel guide in Scotland. But before we go, let's dig in this very British fish and chips. By the way, this place is famous in Glasgow, as Justin Bieber had his fish and chips here a few years ago. So, let's start by putting, how we do here, some salt and vinegar. So let's get some extra 800 calories right now. Tasty, hopefully. Hi Pooja, it's such a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you very much for taking time. I was wondering about your news. Do you have any exciting news? I know that you hit 15,000 downloads with your application. So how's it going?
Well, it's been quite exciting in the last couple of months. I think especially, just knowing that people are using the product and enjoying, walking around in the city and exploring the city in the way we've designed it is what actually keeps me motivated.
Yeah, I can imagine. Who are your customers? Who people who uses the app?
So that's actually a very good question. We have a customer base and we have a separate user base. So I'll explain the business model really quickly. Users are essentially the travelers and curious natives and also international students who would like to either rediscover the city or just explore the city in its own way and at their own time and pace. So those are the guys who are picking up the booklets and downloading the app. And that's very different to our customer base because our customers are hyper-local businesses. That could be, restaurants, cafes, or, tourism industries who would like to, reach out to our users. So that's essentially our customer base.
So right now you're covering only Glasgow.
Yes.
How about Edinburgh?
So we are really looking to upgrade the product before we onboard any other city. So the good news is we are now expanding to the West End. So till now, the Glasgow booklet and the app was only content and stories for the city centre. But now we're making it quite holistic. And in fact, we're really wanting to encourage people to move out of this nucleus and explore other exciting parts of the city, be it South Side or the West End and the East End.
That's great.
Yeah.
And who are partnering with for the West End booklet?
So essentially, we are still reaching out to businesses that essentially have a great story to share. So the way we sort of have our screening process for the businesses that we partner with is A, if we really believe that they have something authentic to offer to our users, and B, if they have like a rich story to share. Because we don't just see ourselves as an advertisement platform. We really encourage to sort of share their values, and we do this in an interactive manner. So I don't know if you saw sort of our latest upgrade in the app. We have an application of Drygate, and when you scan it through our app, you see like a pint glass getting filled up with beer. So it's essentially when the East End walk comes to an end, or rather the city centre walks come to an end, people can enjoy a glass of beer. So it's these interactive elements.
What place?
So this is Drygate, which is quite close to the Glasgow Cathedral.
Have you tried to connect them on LinkedIn?
Yes, I think what we've learned is that LinkedIn is a really powerful tool, especially for us because we are B2B. I'm not a fan of just approaching a lot of people on LinkedIn without sort of sending a personal message or either meeting them at an event. So I may have not sent them a LinkedIn yet, but that's a good reminder. Probably.
You definitely should. I think like a lot of people trying to connect via LinkedIn. And they're gonna see your profile, they're gonna see your company in your occupation. It's very powerful.
Yeah. Tool. Have you guys been using LinkedIn
Not really. We're just starting just entering B2B market because we were very focused on B2C, but currently we are thinking to switch focus a bit to B2B as potential.
And is that because you all have spoken to some B2B sort of clients?
Yes, because we see their interest and the need and
Yeah.
the gap in the market. So
Yeah.
we're like, oh, a lot
Yeah.
of people comes to us and like they have this problem, that problem, and we're like, okay,
Yeah.
We can help you.
Yeah.
To be honest, but
That's true. I think the other thing sort of we also realized, because at one point I was looking at B2C, because we were imagining that maybe this would be just consumer driven, people pay for either the app or the book, and we realized that would require huge marketing budgets.
Yeah.
And at that early stage of startup, we were having limited resources to funding, which is why we also thought that B2B is the way to go, and we can sort of solve two problems rather than one.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you all are also looking at B2B.
Definitely, and
Yeah.
we would love to talk with you more about B2B
Yeah.
Off camera, because you have such a great experience. You've basically been working with B2B for how long have you been working on the project?
Well, we started trading in April 2019. So when I started off, it was literally me in March going from bar to bar and cafes to cafes and speaking to bartenders. And reaching up the ladder and really trying to first get the bartender invested in what we have, and then essentially get the name or the person's contact number of who's the decision maker. But it took. Sorry. Well, I wasn't good at that, so it was literally just showing off what we had and really
It's
trying
what I'm
to.
talking about.
Yeah. Well, yeah, didn't use that technique. Could slide that in somewhere in our sales strategy at some point.
It will be very difficult to pitch, right?
Yes.
Oh my.
So yeah, I mean, it started off as, I would say, quite a difficult, and a slow start, but it's been almost a year, because we started in April 2019, so not even a year, I would say.
But such a great achievements already. It's amazing, Pooja. You just give me hope so much. Because I think when we first met, it was spring, right?
Yeah.
Spring or early
Yeah.
summer. You just started probably, and you were at the place when you like been talking to bartenders, basically.
Probably.
Not flirting. Wink, wink. Yeah, so 18,000 users, 18,000 followers. Does it affect your revenue? How did it help you to validate your idea, and how it helped you to talk to B2B?
So, essentially, what's been really effective is that our network is really strong. So we distribute the books at about 35 places in Glasgow, and we are really handpicking them, and we train the staff about the booklets and about the product. So when they get excited, then they start talking to families and tourists, and we are now distributing at various places, like even international accommodation, at accommodations and hostels, and our print runs are quite high. So we were able to reach that user numbers quite quickly. So I would say that I really genuinely owe it a lot to our distribution partners, because they've been really promoting us, and I'll be happy to show you like a little video after after the chat. There's this staff member at Lighthouse, and we just went to have a chat with her and took a little recording of what she had to say, and that's just like, it gives me goosebumps, because she was like, there was this lady who basically took it for her niece, and people take a few more because they say that this person would like it, my neighbor would like it. So I think what's happening is it's about Glasgow, and it's about its story, so it connects to people automatically. We're not selling anything to the users. We are basically it's a free resource for people to explore the city. So it was very it helped us to get the user base, and yes, of course, that adds credibility while we are taking that user base and essentially going in, making, having sales conversations with businesses, because we're still young and not as established as some of the other publications in the city.
So such a journey, such big achievements, and you started a year and a half ago, right?
Yes, we incorporated the company, well, it was just me that time. I incorporated the company in April 2018. So, yeah. And I've been working before
18,
that.
So about 2 years right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. How did you start? So it was your thesis, which basically evolved to be your company now?
Yes, so I would say it all happened quite organically. I came to Glasgow. I'm an architect by profession, and I came to Glasgow for my master's in architectural studies at Glasgow School of Art. And as masters are, they're not very prescribed, courses. It's quite self-driven. So essentially, I just did not want to continue doing computer drawings, and I was really involved in talking to people and really knowing like the emotions and the stories of the cities, and how the stories actually define the city a lot more than the sort of the physical fabric. Because as an architect, I was so used to just studying about materials and everything which is quite tangible, that I wanted to go into the emotional side of the city. And I loved reading more and more about sort of public places behavior, and how do people actually sort of associate themselves with city. For example, the Glasgow that is today for me is very different from the Glasgow that was during my masters, and it is because my social circle changed. And that's essentially where I started drawing these stories. And augmented reality was just a means to the tool, right? It was just a means to digitally express some of these stories of taking people into the past or taking people into the future, and essentially that's fortunately I won an award for that project, which is why I was able to present it to people from the creative industries. And that was a real exposure, because at the thesis level I had people from like Creative Scotland and various other organizations which I did not even know at that point, and they encouraged me. They were like, I hope you're going to stay back and actualize this project. So that got me thinking, and really that was sort of a turning point for me taking a stand as to, okay, I'm going to do this. And then one thing led to the other, and I incorporated the company. And then the idea was, let's start with Glasgow, and then sort of the journey continued where I got the first break at the Merchant City Festival. So we worked alongside with them, where we did the first route, and I conducted walking tours myself to really validate whether people can use these two tools together and really understand what works and what doesn't. So again, I'll show you the old booklet. You all can maybe take a shot of that as well. The old booklet was like a pop-up book, which really worked as a thesis project, but didn't work as a as like user experience side of things, because people were struggling with like a pop-up book and with the app. So I realized that inside the rooms it's a great product that works, and outside I needed to change it. So kind of I constantly developed the product, and then we're still developing it further. So once we're really happy, we'll expand to Edinburgh.
And what I like about it, it's like a souvenir, so you can take it home. And I think it's so cool. So you're visiting Glasgow, you've never been here, you take this booklet, and you're from, I don't know, Finland, and you have some piece of from Glasgow, and you can go back and show your family all this augmented reality videos. That's so cool.
Thank you.
Like my sincere congrats on the results. It's amazing. So just from thesis to the company and becoming a businesswoman, is it an easy journey? How do you feel?
Of course not. Like every day is a. I mean, you guys also would feel the same way. I'm sure it is definitely not easy. Especially in the first year. I think the first year is the toughest in terms of where is the first money going to come from, and where is the business training going to come from. So essentially, I started training and learning about business skills through Princess Trust. That was my first ever tap into learning about sort of business skills like finance and accounts, and we had very basic things as well, like a business model and just getting exposed to some of the tools that we would require. So that was quite nice. And then again from there, I met some really important key people. So for example, I met Jonathan from SIE, who's been a mentor and like a support system, and Marian Anderson from Glasgow University. And then again, one thing led to the other. I met a lot of other key business mentors, Business Gateway, and then directly I came into Royal Bank of Scotland. And then since I've come to the RBS Accelerator Hub, it's been sort of genuinely like an accelerator accelerated journey, because I've had mentors around me, and I've had a business enabler. And the great part is that it's a very supportive environment. So you have other entrepreneurs around you who are sometimes struggling with similar challenges, so you can really support each other. So that's been it's taken a good, I feel, like 2.5 years, and I'm still learning. Like, we're still, we've only launched, and we're still just doing, initial boost to sort of really starting to trade.
Would you say you already made a breakthrough?
What do you mean?
Like, do you say you already have your customers? Would you say, yes, now we are good?
Well, that's a tricky question, because, it's not where I see myself.
Yeah, definitely. Probably Amazon SEO still like, well, there is somewhere to go, but just...
Yes. No, I think we're still very, very young, and we have, I think what's been great is that, businesses who are coming on board trust us, what we do, and they value what we're bringing into the market. So we're having established relationships with the people who've come on board, but we are definitely keen to see, more, interesting partners, work with us. So
definitely. So you mentioned about money and how difficult it is to get funding to develop your product. Totally can relate. You just won a Converge Creative Challenge.
Yes.
First of all, big congrats.
Thank
it just
you.
happened, right?
It happened, actually, it's been a while. It happened in September.
So you already spent all money and bought a few Chanel bags, right?
Of course not. But yeah, I wish I could. Yeah, it's been a while, actually. It still feels, fresh, because I have that memory when, when we were announced as the winners. It was September in Dundee. I think Converge came at a time when we genuinely needed the money, because last year August was a tough time for the business, and yes, we were trading, but at an early stage, when you're especially developing a product, and when it's a technology product, you need some bootstrapping, and you need some other resources and funding to come through. So I would say that Converge really saved our 2019.
How much did you win, and where do you invest it?
So we won £20,000 in cash, and apart from that, we were sort of very fortunate to get another £24,000 in kind. So the in kind support comes in from their corporate sponsors. So various things like IP and legal support, and hiring support, all the way to branding gets covered through the in kind. And we're really utilizing the the sort of the in cash money to really grow our team and expand to the West End, because we thought that is the most logical sort of move for us to really get Glasgow right before we go into any other city.
Was it the first time you applied for Converge?
This was the third time that we applied for Converge.
The last one.
This was the third time that we applied, and I think I think it's only 3 times that you can apply, isn't it?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So you applied for Creative Converge 3 times?
I applied for Kickstart the first time, and then I applied for Creative Converge just once. I may have applied for Kickstart twice. It's a little fuzzy, but I do know this was the third time that we applied, because I think Creative Converge is fairly new. So this may be the second time I applied for Creative Converge, and then the first time being
was
Kickstart. Yes.
Yeah, so it's very important to find the right time, apply for grant, right?
Yes.
So you were rejected twice.
Yes.
And did you get some feedback?
I think I got some, really valuable feedback, and we've been constantly reflecting on the feedback that we get from, be it Converge or be it Scottish Edge. I really appreciate the, elaborate feedback that comes through.
Yeah.
So yes, at the first time we were quite early, and then the second feedback we really worked on and got some traction, and I think that may have, supported our win.
Yeah. So what's next? So you have money now, you have some in-kind support, you have a great team, you have validation of the idea. You have customers and you're expanding to West End.
Yes.
So the main project for 2020 is West End.
Yes, the main project for 2020 is West End, and we are also, towards the end of the year, then looking to sort of really focus on research and development of the product. We really want to upgrade the product and see where we can take it before we launch in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
So we may start work for Edinburgh, but it's too early to say. So we're going to go back to R&D.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So let's go to our blitz round. And
Okay.
just 5 questions.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if we're gonna do it here. Do you prefer doing here or other place? I don't remember last gathering. I was so drunk. And you're not gonna put it anywhere, right? So, Pooja, Blitz is coming, and the first question: what are your top 3 places in Glasgow?
Ooh, top 3 places for?
Just top 3 places.
Wow.
Tell me for what.
One is Blytheswood House. That's where I lived for my first year. We had a crazy time. It's GSA halls. I can never forget that. Second is Glasgow School of Art, and I'm saying this because it's my memories of that place. I think I just learned and enjoyed so much. And the third one would be CCA, which is Centre for Contemporary Arts, which is on Sauchiehall Hall Street. When I did not have an office space, I used to just go there and work for like hours.
Lovely.
So I have really good memories with that place.
Sure.
Yes.
Second question: what does it mean to be an entrepreneur?
If I were just given one word, then just be resilient and keep going. And yeah.
The question is, what is the most important in life?
Ooh. Food.
Food. Agree.
I'm a foodie, so.
Good. Would you prefer to stay and live and start a family in Mumbai or Glasgow?
Well, I think I'm gonna be just constantly traveling. I feel that's how I'm gonna be just swapping between Mumbai and Glasgow.
Good. And where do you see yourself living in 5 years?
I think Mumbai and Glasgow. Just that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Pooja, thank you very much. We had a blast of interview today with Pooja Katara, CEO and founder of SENSEcity. Please check out her social media, which are in our comment box, and stay tuned for our next video interview.
Thank you so much, girls. Thank you.